Grandma Ruth's Fables by Esther Ruth Schwartzbauer, age 11, narrated by Esther Ruth Schwartzbauer, age 33. Preface. When I was 11 years old, I decided to write my grandmother a book of scary stories for the scariest of all holidays, Thanksgiving. I know what you're thinking. Colonization is so much more terrifying than ghosts and ghouls, and you'd be right. But the 11-year-old me would have been content writing scary stories for any holiday, and I think this recording will show you that. I record this out of love of so many lost fables of children that remain mere whispers on the back of the wind. There are a few important things for you to know going into this. Ruth and George Schwartzbauer are my grandparents. Sari and Kara are my older cousins. Their mother is Jill. Sari and I are roughly the same age. Kara is a few years older. Jonathan and Selena are my younger cousins. Selena was just a baby when this was written. I have 4 more younger cousins on that side who do not appear in these stories. Everyone else is completely made up. You will hear the name Sarah a lot. The majority of my writing in my youth revolved around Sarah's, largely because I was and still am obsessed with the film Labyrinth. For those of you who don't know what Shopko is, it's a department store like Target or Walmart, but you don't see many outside the Midwest. Also, I will be saying later quite a lot. Every time I jumped ahead in the narrative, I included an asterisk to denote an indeterminate later, in addition to many detailed entries indicating how much later. Hopefully I can make this auditory onslaught fun and bring a little cheer to your approaching holiday. Oh, and one more thing before these stories. I must thank my Aunt Juli who found and returned this to me despite my not having signed my name. I've thought about this gift a lot over the years, and I'm glad it's still part of my life. And now, without further ado, I bring to you Grandma Ruth's Fables. Fable 1. The Turkey Lady. One day, Kara was walking to Grandma's house with a basket of goodies because Thanksgiving was only a week away. "Kara! Kara!" Sari shouted. "Kara, you forgot the raspberries!" "Well, I guess you can tag along since you caught up with me," Kara said. "No, I think I'll just meet you at the park," said Sari. "Okay." Kara started on her way to Grandma's. "Hello, young lady," a shriveled-up old man said in a kind voice. "How would you like to buy a magic turkey?" he said. "Awesome! What does it do?" said Kara. "It talks." He pulled out a large turkey. It said, "I also tell fortunes." "Wow! Here's $5, Kara said. "Okay, young lady, you've got yourself a magic turkey. Take this ring. When you want her to go away, rub the stone and she'll hide in your ring," said the man. The man dawdled away. Kara rubbed the ring. The turkey gobbled his way into the ring, and Kara entered Grandma's house. Grandma wasn't home, so she left the basket on the table and ran down the road to the park. "Sari, time to go!" Sari walked over and said, "Hey, Kara, where did you get that ring?" "I bought it," said Kara. "Guess what I found, Kara?" Sari pulled out a beautiful crystal necklace. "Wow, where did you find it?" "Over there under the slide," said Sari. "I talked to the person who lost it. They put it there on purpose so someone would take it," said Sari. 15 minutes later, Kara rubbed her ring. The turkey came out of her ring in a puff of smoke. "Gobble, gobble, gobble. Here is your fortune. Don't count on losing." "What other magic can you do?" said Kara. "Just this." The turkey molded itself into a beautiful woman. "I can mold myself into any shape." Just then she molded herself into a beautiful porcelain doll and said, "Beauty's in the eye of the beholder." Then she molded herself into a cat. "In this case, I am the beholder. Call me Sarah. I am the Turkey Lady." Later. "Kara, Sari, time to go to school," Jill shouted. Kara dashed out of her room and shouted, "Mom, it's school vacation!" Kara locked her door and rubbed her ring. The beautiful woman came out of the ring in a puff of smoke. Hello, did you sleep well? Sarah said. Fine, thank you. Tell me my fortune, please, Kara said. Okay. Do not put hope into gifts for others, Sarah said. Kara rubbed her ring and checked the calendar. Oh my gosh, Kara gasped. Today was the Thanksgiving costume judging. She had totally forgotten. She quickly dressed in her costume and ran downstairs just to find her mother with the car keys in her hand and Sarah in her costume. They ran to the car, and 10 minutes later they had arrived. Later, Kara quickly looked at the judges and then at Sarah, who whispered a prayer. I'm going to lose to Amy Brackett again, she said to herself. One of the judges stepped up. Third place, Sari Schwartzbauer. You've won a $50 savings bond and a book of your choice. Second place, Amy Brackett. You've won a $100 savings bond and a $50 gift certificate for Toys R Us. First place, for a 1996 dirt bike and a $150 savings bond, Kara Schwartzbauer. Your pilgrim costume was delightful. Later, Kara was riding her new bike and she couldn't believe it. Her first fortune was right. Don't count on losing. I'm so lucky, I think I'll go buy a newspaper for Grandpa, she said. When she got there, she was disappointed to see all the stories were sad. Don't put hope in gifts for others, she said to herself. She threw down the paper and bought a pack of gum instead. Later, when she got home, she locked her door and rubbed her ring. When she came out, she was the size of a Barbie and was brushing her hair and standing next to a vanity set. Suddenly, she became tall and said, You've 24 hours before I kill you and take your body. You see, I am a witch, and I'm supposed to kill you because you told about the necklace. What necklace? Kara asked. The necklace Sari found, she yelled. But I bought you before that. It was supposed to be all lies until I inhabited the turkey's body, she said. You see, Sari was supposed to be gifted with magic powers while wearing the necklace. I'm lying about killing you, but you will suffer. She smiled and left. Kara went and got a glass of water. Later, she heard a loud scream. She ran upstairs and into her room and saw Sarah with her arm around Sari's neck. Sarah said, Your first punishment, Sari will die. Kara thought back to all the witch movies she'd ever seen and remembered The Wizard of Oz. She dropped the ring in the water. I'm melting! It worked. Now, Kara and Sari can't wait until Thanksgiving. The friends, the family, the turkey, the turkey lady dinner. The end. Fable 2, The Land of the Little People. Once upon a time there lived a little boy named Jonathan. John loved to play with action figures. One day, Grandma took John to Shopko and bought him a box of Little People figures. When John got home, he opened the box just to find that the figures were alive. He pulled out a man holding a baby. Wow, John said. Hey, we have feelings, he said. Then he put 2 army men from different sides on the floor, and they shot each other and disappeared. Suddenly, he shrunk. He realized it wasn't just a box of army people, it was a mix of army people, families, girls, boys, dogs, cats, etc. He picked up a little dog and patted it on the head. When he set it down, a girl about his age approached him. Hi, John. How do you know my name? He said. You told me, she said. When? In your dream, she said. Suddenly, the earth shook, and in a loud crash, the box tipped over. All of the figures came out holding boards and hammers, and in less than 20 minutes, they had constructed a mini mansion. Oh, I haven't introduced myself yet. Lena Brender. Lena, can we go in the mansion or turn off the air conditioner? John said. Okay. Later, Lena took him up the long staircase and into the kitchen and gave him a slice of apple pie. Lena, how do I get big again? Don't worry. And in saying that, she took him into a larger room. John gasped. He was staring at an airplane made from his erector set. John jumped in the pilot's seat and Lena the co-pilot's. But how do I get it out of here? John asked. Lena pressed a button and the ceiling opened up and a short runway appeared. Later! A few minutes later, the plane just lifted off. John gasped. Wow! I never guessed my room could look so wonderful. Isn't it? Lena said. Suddenly, an awful malfunction caused Lena and John's seats to fall out of the plane. Thank goodness they landed on the bed in the other room. We're so far from the others, Lena gasped. And there's only 3 days until Thanksgiving, Lena continued. John gasped. Everyone knows that 3 is a small number. But John didn't know that Thanksgiving was only 3 days away. How am I going to get big in 3 days? John said, and John and Lena went to bed. Later! John woke up, but strangely he was on the floor. He remembered his mom probably made the bed and accidentally flung him off. But where was Lena? Suddenly he felt a sharp pain and everything went black. Later! He had seen nothing but black until the moment he was befriended by another figure named Sarah. Sarah told him that they were drugged by Jacob. Jacob was a mischievous boy who loved to play tricks. Jacob had poisoned Lena and John's water bottles. Lena came out of the tent and was about to say something when all of the sudden John got big again. John picked up the figures and said, Wow. John, time to go to Grandma's. John couldn't wait to show Grandma. Fable 3. Selena and the Giant. One day, Selena awoke in a place that she knew wasn't her house. Wow, she thought to herself. She climbed out of the strange crib and walked out into the kitchen, and a strange person suddenly grasped her up in her arms. Suddenly, she woke up. It was just a dream. She found herself in a car. Hey, Selena, ready to go to Grandma's? Her mom said. Later, when she got to Grandma's, she walked over to Sari, who with a smile picked up Selena. Suddenly, in a flash of light, Sari and Selena were in medieval times and reading an announcement. Dear villagers, if you don't leave the town by tomorrow, I will trash it. Yours truly, William E. Gigantisk. Then they read another. Sari and Selena Schwartzbauer, kill William the Giant. If you don't, you'll be ... hard return ... beheaded. Sincerely, the King, Harold G. Walker. Sari read this with disgust. Selena did it too, so they wandered down the path. Later! A few hours later, Sari and Selena found themselves at the giant's castle. Tomorrow was Thanksgiving, so they were in a hurry. They walked up the steps. They walked and walked and walked. They walked. They walked to the front door and read the sign. Note: to those who will walk in, but never out, ... The last words you'll hear will be ... Fee, fi, fo, fum, ... I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead. I'll grind his bones to bake my bread. William E. Gigantisk. They walked into the large house and they heard fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of a... Hey, maybe I don't smell nothing. The giant walked back upstairs. Sari and Selena had a great idea. They were going to write a note. Later, the giant just woke up and is reading the note. Dear Giant, leave the castle now. If you don't, we'll kill you. Leave a very expensive gift at the door when you leave, or we'll kill you. Signed, Jack the Ripper, Dr. J, Death, Danny Death, M.Y, Murder ya, Lynn Oppie, Lights Out, Gabe the Goblin, Manny murder, his wife Maybelle murder, their daughter Sarah murder, and Dorothy I'll Kill Ya Killa, KO Knockout, and Kenny Kill. There's an arrow that says more names on the back, and P.S. We're all giants. When the giant read this, he ran for his life and left a large chest. Later, when Sari and Selena got into town, they opened the chest to find a turkey made of gold. When they got home, they gave it to Grandma, of course. Fable 4, Grandma and the Unicorn. When Grandma was a young girl, she traveled on the ark that belonged to Noah. Well, that's what she told me. Well, this is what I hear. Long ago, Grandma, or her grandma, had just gotten off the ark and took another boat to Hawaii. She traveled there to seek the unicorn. When she heard of the magic, she came. Grandma was 15. Wow, she said. She had never been to Hawaii. She went under a gorgeous palm tree and made a good-sized hut for the unicorn and started one of her own. Later, when she finished, she went looking for the unicorn. Later, when she was on her way, she decided to get a drink. When she went to the pond to get a drink, she froze. She saw the unicorn, but she couldn't move. Later, finally, the unicorn left and she could move. I can't believe it, she said. She walked home crying. Later, in the morning, she went to the stable and slept until, well, she slept until, now, I guess. She found a note. It's addressed to Ruth from Unicorn via Pony Express. It says, Dear Ruth, you seek wisdom in others' words. Seek it in yourself. Signed, Uni C. Orn. There's a little hoof stamp. P.S. Good luck. Ruth was so sad she went to bed without any dinner. When she woke up, she went to see the unicorn, but the unicorn saw her first. Eventually, they became best friends. They would run around the pond and talk and talk and talk. The end. Fable 5, Grandpa and the Elves. One day, Grandpa went in the shed to get a shovel, and he heard cling, clang, cling, clang, cling, clang. Grandpa listened again, cling, clang. Hello! Grandpa jumped in surprise. Hello, I'm Taylor Jean Elfie. I hope you don't mind, but I've made this my home. You see, I'm one of Santa's elves, but the workshop's overcrowded, so I'm going to make the toys right here. Still shocked, Grandpa asked many probing questions, like, why are you making toys during Thanksgiving? They talked for an hour and both started back at their work. Later that day, Grandpa went back to talk to Taylor, but she had fallen asleep hammering a leg to a Barbie. So he covered her up and went inside. When he got inside, he found a note. Dear George, went shopping. Be back around 5 p.m. Picking up Sari and going to the Nightingale afterwards. Ruth. P.S. Get the mail. Grandpa got the mail and went to check on Taylor and found a note. Dear Mister, $5 million in the dumpster on Fifth Ave by 5, or you'll never see your little elf again. Signed, The Robber. $5 million, he screamed. Gee, I don't have that much. Later, he went to Fifth Avenue, and he put the suitcase in the dumpster. Here's your elf, the robber said with a smirk. He ran with the elf, and the other with the suitcase. The robber opened the suitcase. All fake money. Later, George, where were you? Ruth said. Oh, nowhere. The end. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays, everyone.